Hey everybody, welcome to Fresh Off the Set. My name is David Osmond, and I get the honor to do something that most people don't ever really get the chance to do. Put my mom and my dad on microphone to interview them. Man, I got a lot of questions. But
David, be nice.
Okay. So in studio today, I have the one, the only, Alan Osmond, the leader of the Osmond family, the songwriter, the producer, the guy who led the way, the spokesperson, of course, my dad, and then the producer of the show, my mom, Suzanne Osmond, is here. And this is a treat. We came on to do the TV show, Fresh Living, as well as a couple other things here at CBS, and my mom got wrangled into sitting down. She doesn't want to necessarily be here.
She's the brains behind the whole thing.
Yeah, she is, absolutely, and has a whole new perspective on all of our lives, especially mine, and I've known her my whole life. And and you guys have been married for 50 years. And now, as you've just had your 75th birthday, just coming out, finally, with a memoir, with a story, your first book. And that's what we're talking about today, is the why of this now, because you're the only Osmond of the original performers who has not released a book, and you remember it all. You did it all. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today, on why you put this together. And of course, some stories that go along with it people may not realize or understand about how the Osmonds came to be. But thanks for being with us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
It's a thrill.
Especially to have Suzanne here with me. We love life. We love our sons. We love family. And when we started out as kids just singing, that's what it was all about, was to keep our family together and enjoy doing what we did.
So for those that may not know, they might know Osmond, they might know Donnie from something, or Marie, or maybe nothing. Where did you guys start? Well, it was in Ogden, Utah, a little town, right?
Yeah, we grew up in Ogden, Utah. I milked a cow every morning before I went to school. And we went from milking cows to milking audiences for applause.
Yeah. So a little bit different of an industry, right?
Well, listen, it was we loved music. We didn't know anything about it, but we just know we liked it. And we set our course. We set the one-way path to where we wanted to go, and that was to the top. They told us, you'll never make it. You're too clean cut, too goody-goody. We said, well, we're not going to change that. They said, but we'll be the best we can in the music. So we worked very hard at it. And we had some wonderful opportunities. We learned from the best. Walt Disney saw us working at Disneyland, and he came over and helped us with our routine and put us on his wonderful world of color. And that's where Andy Williams' father saw us and reminded him of the Williams brothers when they were little, singing barbershop. So
it was one of your first jobs.
Yes.
You left Ogden, drove down to Anaheim,
yes.
Worked Disneyland that whole summer, and that's where you met Disney.
That's correct. And but we grew up on Andy Williams' show. He gave us a contract for 2 shows, and then we came back and signed a 5-year contract. But we were only on the show if we had something to do. So that was the key, and
no
what
pressure.
we learned. That's what even part of one-way ticket is. You have to a goal. You have to be, but you have to create what you need to do to be able to be in there. We weren't on the show unless we had something to come up with. For instance, he said, "Well, Peggy Fleming's going to be on the show next week. It's all going to be ice. You guys ice skate, don't you?" And before I could say no, my father said, "We'll be ready."
That was Grandpa.
We did not go home that night. We went to the ice rink and hired the manager and taught us how to ice skate. After we taped the show 4 days later, we skated backwards. We did flips and to shoot the duck under the legs, and the ice capades called and wanted to know if we go on tour with them.
It's unbelievable. And you guys were good. I've seen all the videos. As a kid, obviously, I just figured this industry of showbiz was something that every kid's dad did. We watched Disney movies and home movies and stuff and other Hollywood things, but mostly we would watch you guys. We have all these old Betamax and VHS tapes from those early Andy Williams shows, and so we would watch all these routines of you growing up and performing. Where did those routines, those early barbershop quartet routines, come from?
Well, we had to create them. So we just invented it as we went along, and we worked. We had family nights our family nights before the churches to get it was our Friday nights. So we practiced to learn a new song every week. Thank heavens, because we used all of those songs on Andy Williams' show.
So did Grandpa teach the songs? Did he learn them?
No, my mother was very musical. My father loved to sing, and so there's a great combination between the two of them. And we just loved music, and it's a shame that we had to go work so hard at doing what we love to do.
It's a show business, the business side of that. Yeah. And now you guys have been married for 50 years. Obviously, it's an amazing love story that you have together, and what you've been able to create together. I'm one of 8 boys, number 4 of 8. And Mother, you came into this like 3-ring circus of a showbiz world with not a lot of probably understanding of what you were getting into. I know the story from what you've told me, but for those listening, you were engaged for 13 days. And tell me a little bit about what that must have been like at the beginnings of your relationship.
Well, we got serious very quickly. We dated for 6 months, and it wasn't serious until the very end. And when he proposed, he did because he was leaving on a world tour. And he said, this is the only way I can take you with me, as if we're married. So very quickly we announced it, and he went to open his show in Vegas at the Tropicana.
The day you got married?
No, this was when we announced it.
Oh, right after the engagement. Okay.
And so we didn't see each other for those 11 days.
What?
He was in Vegas opening
crazy.
his show.
Show business.
And so he did 2 shows the night before and then got on a plane with his family, and they flew up to Provo Airport. I met them there with my family. We went to the Provo Temple. We were married. Straight back to the airport because he had 2 shows to get back to in Vegas. And I had never, ever seen him on stage or performed ever. Not even the Andy Williams show. We watched the Danny Kaye show in my house and the Klinger sisters.
Thank you very much.
So I had never heard of even Osmond until I was in high school, and I heard them on the radio.
And you were more into Creedence Clearwater Revival than the Osmonds.
Three Dog Night and Carpenters. And so when we started dating, he gave me an album of his, The Plan, and I put it on, and I was shocked to hear some music that I was performing to as a BYU cheerleader, that the Bruce Bastian was the conductor, and he had arranged some of the songs from the Plan album that we were performing to, and I didn't even know they were Alan's songs.
One of those songs was One Way Ticket to Anywhere.
That was my favorite routine. So anyway, he flew in, we got married, went back to Vegas, and that night I saw him on stage for the very first time and was shocked at his talent. I knew he played guitar and piano, but he got up there and he played saxophone and trumpet, and
you had no idea.
I had no idea.
I didn't want her to like me for my music and what I did there. I wanted her to like her for me. And when we fell in love, then I says, okay, here's what I do. Watch out. And she said, who are all these screaming girls?
Well, in Vegas, there were only about 50 girls down front screaming. And I said, what is with that?
What are they doing? That's
and then
crazy.
we went from there to England, where there were thousands just going crazy. And so I'm taking pictures of them, taking pictures of us.
No
God
way.
says, my family's not going to believe. Yes. So our reception was actually 5 weeks after the wedding because we weren't there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Seriously, even in this book, there's stories I'm still learning about my own family, my own parents. It's the trippiest thing. This book is called One Way Ticket, and it's a long time coming. You've been working on this for 20 years. I mean, a whole lifetime, really, but why did it take so long
I'm the
to
only
come to this point?
one in my family. All my brothers and sisters have had their books, even Verl and Tom, my deaf brothers. But I said, my story hasn't been told yet. So I kept waiting. Well, I turned 75. I said, this time. So we came out with it, and it's been a wonderful journey. I put in things from my journals, things that happened that really, everything's true in the book. I mean, we went from Osmond mania with screaming fans. We worked with everybody in the business.
100 million records
We
you
sold,
guys sold.
yeah. And
That's crazy.
We were millionaires, but lost a lot of it because of corruptness and people keeping 2 sets of books. But we didn't go bankrupt. We hung in there and paid everything back down. And the good Lord blessed us, and we did it together as a family. I may be the leader, but we didn't care who was out front as long as it was an Osmond. Yeah. So we helped each other all the way to the top.
One Way Ticket. Is that what that means? Did you perform as a BYU cheerleader to that song?
That song, that was my very favorite routine.
I didn't even know that.
One Way Ticket. And I didn't know he had written it, or it was an Osmond song, till he gave me the Plan album.
I also gave her a pillowcase with my picture on it.
That said Sweet Dreams. And I thought, okay.
Who is this guy so full of himself?
I know. He's
got his own pillowcase.
So, we had so much fun.
What was that approach when you saw her the first time? It was the BYU basketball game.
Well, she was the best basketball game I never watched. I just watched her.
What's your approach? You're a world famous rock star.
I made a one-way ticket right to her after the game, and I didn't realize her boyfriend was out of town, so she was there alone.
Good timing.
But anyway, I stepped up. I ended up talking to her mother more than her, but we got together, and it all was wonderful.
That is so
And
fascinating.
I told my mother after I went on a first date with her, I said, tonight I went out with a real girl.
That's cool.
There's a lot of them out there trying to be in showbiz and this and that. I didn't want anything to do with someone that was interested in show business. I wanted to marry a girl just like Suzanne. And boy, I tell you, she's the girl of my dreams.
That's
I wrote a song about her called True Love.
Yeah.
In fact, in the book, I give a free download of it to all those who get the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And
There you
who-
go.
and who
And a
sings
lot of
that?
other songs.
Who sings that?
I sing that song.
Yes. And Nathan plays the piano.
Love,
Yes.
nothing less than true love. It's a great song. I mean, it's really it's one of those passion things that you've put your heart and soul
Well,
into.
I
As
heard
everything.
I heard angels singing it with me when I wrote it. I swear it was a love song that was meant to be.
Yeah. No, but you've written over 200 songs.
Yeah.
A lot of them #1
Crazy
gold-
horses.
Crazy Horses. I don't know if you're listening to this, just go take a quick moment, YouTube Crazy Horses. It'll blow your mind.
Do me better
It's a
than that.
rock song that Ozzy Osbourne loves, and the rock community, they just absolutely, it was huge hit.
Come see us on September 28th at the Tribe House because we're going to be there live and we're going to sign books. And we've got, you'll hear a lot of things, see a lot of things, win surprises, and we're just going to have a blast together.
That's right.
It's been a celebration for us now, and I've got the most wonderful part of this thing that people don't realize that the best things you have in is your family. They're the only things you take with you into the next life. So just put your priorities in order, have fun, live it to your best, live up to what your reputation is, make things happen that are good, and make the life better behind you. Leave it better than you saw it.
Well, the stories are just out of this world, just astronomically huge and larger than life. As the kind of guy that you are, and as a producer, you were the executive producer of the Donnie and Marie show. You went off stage after so many years of performing with your brothers and created a whole new experience called the Stadium of Fire,
Yep,
which has become
Stadium
one of the
of
largest
Fire.
4th of July spectacular shows, and still going. How many years? 40 plus years? 43?
44 this year.
44. You're in the Guinness Book of World Records for blowing off over 1 million firecrackers at that show. You are Osmondo Bizarro,
Well,
as they
people
call
want
it.
to see something. They don't want to you don't go play a violin in a stadium. You want something that goes boom, bang, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what fireworks does, and that's why we have so many people involved in shows and booms. And
Has he always been a pyromaniac?
oh,
Mother?
yeah. I
Oh,
flew.
you remember the day that there were ants in the cracks of the driveway. What did he do?
Gasoline.
He got gasoline and lit the cracks of the driveway on fire.
Ants on fire.
And he wrote a song about it, probably.
I had Donnie fly on a wire like Peter Pan across the stadium. I had him come in on the outside of a helicopter. I shot him out of a cannon. We had more fun.
You wanted to, at least. I think he said no to that one. I said, that's
No.
enough. That's where I draw the line.
We have some wonderful stories. We worked with the best people in the business.
Give me a
And
rundown.
they told us, hey, you'll never make it. You're too clean cut, too goody-goody. But you know what? That didn't stop Paul McCartney to come and see us at George Cinq Hotel in France just to get Donnie's autograph. And he said, I like the Osmonds. He also had Elvis Presley came to see the Osmonds in Caesar's Palace. We were working. And he came in and he liked our jumpsuits because they were made by the same guy who made his. And he invited us to his home for a private barbecue. Unfortunately, he died before we got to that. We had wonderful times.
Didn't he send backstage a big, huge
Yes.
bouquet of flowers in the shape of a guitar?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
And he had wonderful conversations. And he was called Suzanne and me in our hotel room there. And I told him my mother was there. And he said, oh, can I talk to your mother? I love my mother. That's the kind of guy he was.
Yeah, that's the human side of
Yes.
the real side of showbiz.
And they talked for 10, 15, 20 minutes. But anyway, we had a wonderful experience. We also worked with Led Zeppelin. I mean, it was because we were the loudest rock band in the 70s. Not because we turned our amplifiers so loud, because everyone in our audience screamed. So we had to get the sound up over the top of the screaming. And Zeppelin's was the biggest system there was. And so in going to their concert the night before just to hear it, we went there and I said, we better leave. They're going out to offer an encore. And they said, no, the band wants to meet you. And I said, well, then let's go. We went backstage and then we saw them playing Frisbee with their kids backstage. But
while the crowd is just cheering and chanting.
they're still clapping. And they said, hey, Osmonds, why don't you come up on stage with us? And the manager said, no, not the Osmonds. And they said, yes, the Osmonds. And they had their stage manager take us up. We stood on the stage right while they played Stairway to Heaven. That was the highlight of my life.
Yeah.
And
And they said they liked your music.
It doesn't matter who you are. or what you think you are. We're all children of God. We all are the same. We put our pants on one leg at a time, and we come into this world, and we're going to go out of it, and we'll still be together forever. So have faith and hope. That's the message I hope you get in reading my book.
That's what One Way Ticket means to you. Yeah. So this isn't just a series of crazy stories of your life, a memoir, but it has a message.
Well, it's our life. And you'll hear the love stories, you'll hear the sadness, you'll hear how we lost over $80 million. We didn't go bankrupt because we don't want anybody standing there holding the bag. We worked our tails off and we paid it off. It wasn't our fault that it happened, but we paid every cent back. Yeah. We got ahead. We were millionaires, but we lived like everybody else.
And beyond all this larger-than-life showbiz success that you've had, to have to leave the stage. I remember as a kid to watch the physical decline, the challenge of living with multiple sclerosis, diagnosed in the 80s, I believe, when I was just a little kid. That started really slow, a progression that it still affects you today.
Yeah, my fingers couldn't play the trumpet.
Changed your life.
I couldn't play the trumpet as fast. And I noticed also I was tripping, but I couldn't see anything I tripped on. It was part of my right side of my body giving away. It's the myelin sheath inside of your body where it shorts out and the signal doesn't get to your limbs from the brain. Anyway, I learned all I can about it. I have to fight. Anything's better than nothing. So don't sit back and just say, oh, this is what I have. Deal with what you have and make it work for you. You can do more than you think you can. And that's the positive thing I hope people learn from all our experiences we had. We're just like everybody else. And just the principles are what make it. And if you have it, we always said, prepare yourself and the opportunity will come.
Well, I remember when you came to us kids and told us about this diagnosis, and we had no idea what it was. We never heard it. We're just little kids.
Neither did I.
Yeah, MS. You thought it was many sons.
No.
But when you told us this is what I'm dealing with, this is what's happening, and you said, I have MS, but MS does not have me.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, Mother, like with that age and what was happening, you got 8 kids. And this is happening.
We had 6 children.
When the diagnosis, there were 6. And then you had obviously 2 more.
And they told us, get your affairs in order. But we felt really I felt very unsettled that we didn't have all of our family. So we had Alex and Tyler, our last 2 boys. And then I felt good. I felt like, okay, we're settled and everybody's here.
Our priorities.
And they did not recommend that, but again, you move forward with faith and do what your gut tells you.
Yeah. Hey, need to do. My mother was told not to have any more kids after Verl and Tom, who were both born deaf. But she says, I trust the Lord, and went forward. Thank heaven she did. You just have to believe there's a bigger picture, and there is. There's hope.
Well, for my life, and as I've obviously followed suit into the music industry and done all this kind of performing, and then ultimately where I had to leave the stage, and I ended up being diagnosed with the same thing. Different form of MS, but to where my body is crushed every second of the day, even right now, to where my legs wouldn't move, and all this was taken from me. The example you set was such a golden gift from both of you to keep going, that perspective and the tenacity and the toughness. I was actually asked by some people on Facebook and Instagram that knew I was going to sit down with you guys and chat. And one question stood out. They said, how does your dad stay so positive? Because you've been through the trenches and the war. Like, what is it that drives you?
It's a choice. And you could be happy or you could be sad. I choose to be happy. I choose to be positive. And I like to turn lemons to lemonade. That's what you have to do. And it doesn't matter what you have, deal with it. Remember, you're in charge. You're a child of God. You're more important than you think you are, and there's just make things happen. And if you have a stumbling block in front of you, either go around it or go through it. You just gotta keep going, keep moving. Anything's better than nothing.
It's worth it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You can be bitter, or you can be better.
Absolutely, it is true.
Yeah. That driving tenacity and inspiration is inspiring to so many millions of people worldwide.
Well, you'll see a lot of things happen in this book. I mean, you can't believe it. We had people come in that ended up in jail who tried to kill us. I mean, SLA, remember that episode, whatever, with Patty Hearst?
I know of it, but I don't remember it.
Well, you weren't around.
No, I wasn't here.
Well, Patty Hearst had a cassette in her purse of the Osmonds. So they said, well, we're going to kill the Osmonds. And the FBI was all over us. They said, watch out, your life's in threat. We had Hell's Angels in Germany break in just to stop us. Why? Family. We stood for family and happiness, and they wanted to stop that. Well,
it was my 21st birthday. We were celebrating at Merrill Mary's place, and Merrill took some trash out and saw some very questionable people hiding out there. And next thing I knew, we were in the back of a police car being driven home, and the police sat there while Alan walked me to the door and then took him away. But he couldn't tell me what was going on.
And they gave me a sawed-off shotgun just to protect myself. I mean, I said, what's going on? And they said,
you're just married at this point? Like, or
no,
not,
this
you're
was
dating?
my 21st birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
We were dating. And
you still stuck around.
And all of a sudden, here I am in the back of a police car being taken home because there were some scary people there.
Oh, yeah.
Threatening.
Jeez.
So, and I didn't know what was going on. But I thought, I guess this is what happens to celebrities. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, so goes life. We were in a Memphis fire where we were locked in our hotel, and it was on fire. We were up on the 7th floor, and they had locked the fire doors because all the fans were getting up to us. Well, we couldn't get out now. So thank heavens our trumpet player did a flying sidekick and broke the doors open. And they just have to deal with it positively. Don't look down. Look up.
Yeah.
And raise up and be happy. And that's why we love music. It's a great way to express the happiness in us. And we have the best fans around the world. They went miles just to see us. We had a couple of girls ship themselves to us in a box. That's how desperately they were to get to us.
It's just crazy.
Oh, I know. When they got out, they just didn't know what to do, but they stood there and cried. So I went over and hugged them. I said, "Oh, that's the greatest compliment." I said, "Now, don't ever do it again."
Now, what are you thinking, Mother? You're seeing this.
I didn't see this till after we were married.
But it continued through after you got married. You went to England, and like you said, you were taking pictures of fans, taking pictures of you, and
right.
like, does it still surprise you?
What surprises me is the longevity of the loyalty. These fans. I mean, we've been married 50 years, and so some of these fans were around a lot longer than I've been here, and they're still faithful. And many of them are coming from Europe and other places to help with this book
just
launch
to come
this
see
weekend.
the book.
Yes.
Because
Oh my gosh.
we don't treat them like fans. They're friends.
Yeah.
And so when you endure people, we're all real people. We're all brothers and sisters in life.
Yeah.
From the same parents upstairs. So let's just understand that. Get rid of all the ego and the pride, and just get down to earth and just love one another.
I remember you telling me Elvis Presley told you that if he could do it all over again, he would shake every hand and sign every autograph and take the time like you guys were doing.
Yes, we bring them after the show. They had to clean it up so they could get ready for the next show. So our father worked it out so they could go downstairs in the kitchen area, walk past our dressing room. We would sign every autograph for everyone that wanted it. Yeah. And Elvis really liked that.
Very cool. This book, and you've shared your inspiration behind it, what you hope for it. What about you, Mother? The one-way ticket. You've lived this life with him, and so you see it now in print. What does this book mean to you?
Well, I like that it's now preserved his history for posterity, because we have 30 grandchildren and almost 4 grades at this point, and there are many life lessons in here that everybody can learn from. And it doesn't matter what your career is or what your choices are in this life. You have a one-way ticket to where you're going. And so you have to create whatever those decisions are to get you to where you need to go. You've got to make the best choices you can. And when you read some of the stories of what they went through and the choices they made that were positive and kept them on the right course to that end goal, they made it.
Yeah.
But everybody can do that no matter what your course is.
To choose your own adventure.
Well, for instance, we were living in Los Angeles, and in show business, they want us to be a little more sexy and a little more this and that, and that's not our style. And we said, we want to go back to Utah where people live the way we like. And he said, one problem, there was no studios there. So what do? We built our own. That's the way you get the one-way ticket. You just go around them, and you do it, you create the way to accomplish it. And that happens so many times in our life, and the principle works. And if you prepare yourself and work hard enough for it, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, for the record, as your son, I've never seen you as sexy either. So just so you know.
Good.
I appreciate you guys so very much.
David, go home, make your bed.
You're grounded. Oh, by the way, is it true, because 8 boys, And this is obviously even pre-ultrasound and everything. Did you take a little pink or red dress to the hospital every single time one of us was born, just in case?
When we got married, there was a company called Mini World that gave me this pink frilly dress for our wedding. And it went to the hospital, and other little pink outfits with a blue one, because we didn't do the ultrasound until the last two.
Yeah.
And so every time, it was a blue outfit that came home. The pink. At the end, my first granddaughter got that pink frilly dress.
Oh, wow.
So we did use it eventually.
That's awesome.
Every time a baby was born, I said, "Oh boy!"
Yeah. No, but speaking of hospitals and born, tell me the story really quick. And this is just a side note, but speaking of the craziness and the fans and the fanaticism, when I was born, I had to be put into a secured lockdown area because what happened?
Someone in the nursery took right at the crown of your head and cut a lock of hair right off the crown of your head. And so when they brought you to me, and I saw that, they put you into intensive care.
My hair was chopped off.
Your hair was chopped off right at the crown. So they put
As
you
a
in
souvenir.
the NICU so that they could keep a closer eye on you.
Unbelievable.
The damages of living in the public eye.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wouldn't trade it for anything. We love life. We love the world and all the people. We've been in every country just about many times. And we've come to love the people. We sang in Japanese. We sang in Swedish. We fall in love with people around the world. And even today, because we're all brothers and sisters in life, and we continue after this world together. So let's just be happy, get through it, and let's just remember each other. Reach out to others, and don't look in the mirror so much. Pat yourself on the back. Kick yourself in the hind end and get out and go to work. That's the best part.
That sounds like your grandpa, your dad
yes.
talking right there.
Yeah, he had a fast foot.
Yeah, he did. Drill sergeant, master sergeant during World War II. And then Grandma, Olive, she was the heart, the
and
soul.
she was spiritually driven. We had that side to us too. Remember, we're to exercise your spiritual muscles. We're not human beings having spiritual experiences. We are spiritual beings having human experiences. So learn what you can in this life, because we're going forward, and you're going to need all that good stuff, because we are who we are.
Well, I've learned watching your example and life in general that pain is inevitable.
Yes.
But suffering is optional, and you live your life that way, and so do you, Mother. And you, coming from the Pinniger family with your mom and dad, I know you've got your own story. You need to write your book next.
Well, half of it's already been written. Now with Alan.
This is your book.
She shared our love story in this book, so you're going to love it. But after I read what she wrote, I had to cry.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at
awesome.
75 years of life and what he's been through with the performing, with the military, with MS, with all kinds of challenges, how he has been able to push through them, and that's really the message of this book, is that one-way ticket to where he wants to go, he's gone.
Set your mind, set your heart on what you want to do, and go accomplish it, because you can do it.
75 more years to go.
Absolutely.
This is only halfway.
Heavens, we never die. Remember, come on. And I'll still be your father forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I'll be honored. Thank you very much.
Bless
I love
you.
you guys.
Bless you.
Thank you. There's so many more things we could talk about and questions, but maybe we'll have to come back on the podcast sometime.
Thank you.
And congratulations on this book. It's been a long time coming.
Hey, come down. We're going to have a party on September 28th down in Pleasant Grove. We've got gifts and prizes, and we're going to have lots of book signing, and I'd love to see you and shake your hand. It's been a great life, and that's going to be where you can find our book. First place, right there.
Awesome.
So we hope to see a lot of you there. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you guys. Thanks for being on the show, and thank you for listening to Fresh Off the Set. This has been a thrill and an honor for me. I'm kind of speechless in many ways. I mean, I don't get a chance to interview my parents very often, so this was a great opportunity for me. Thank you for taking the time, guys.
Oh, thank you, Seth.
Congrats, you made it to the end. If you want to continue to freshen up your day, you can watch us on Fresh Living every weekday on CBS Channel 2 in Utah at 1 o'clock. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel, KUTV Fresh Living, and follow us on social media. We will see you next week.